Welcome back, War Room fans. Game 8, Episode 3, the redo. Because your humble host here is a noob, I ended up deleting the entire video and all my files. So, here's how Game 8 ended up. So, remember, down here, we're having that huge battle in the Ukraine all the time. And Japan was coming up on the backside. Well, on game turn 5, once again, Germany failed to take the Ukraine. Russia just refused to die. Japan kept coming up here. But remember, the British had guys coming up from Iran. They landed up here in the Caucasus. And remember, they brought out a bunch of guys out here in A4. So the Germans had their big attack stack from Moscow right here. And Britain came right into them. And basically mutual annihilation. All the British were dead, and I think you had one guy left. So basically Moscow was saved from up here. Then on turn 6, the UK came in with some more Russians and stymied them again. And then because Moscow had this huge defense force, Japan was right up here. Moscow came out and attacked Japan and basically blew up their entire initial attack force. And then the Allies landed in France. And basically Germany just got ground down to a nub because they never could break through on the Ukraine. And so that's basically how that game ended at the end of turn 6. Bryce just threw in the towel. There was no point. I mean, the attack force on Moscow from both sides had been destroyed. Ukraine was contested from, I think, game turn 1 or 2. You know, it was just, Russia just refused to die. And in fact, it seemed like they were gaining some strength. But the frustrating thing from Bryce's perspective is that Russia was so far up the stress wheel. I mean, all they had to do was take Ukraine and they would have gone into economic collapse. But he never could get Russia over the top. And so that basically how the game ended. I mean, it just turned into basically a Russian-centric front, and Germany never could break through, and Japan tried the backside, but then they got repulsed, and that was it. And then remember in that game, we also had, a naval war going on, but he had all his guys up here in A5. Well, on turn 5, we just sent in all the Air Force in there. They didn't have any protection and basically blew up the majority of his fleet. So that ended the naval aspect of the game. And that's basically how Game 8 ended, with an Allied victory. So one of the things about that game, though, is even if you played with the Stalin rule, I mean, Russia was up in level 3 on game turn 3. So even though the Commonwealth came in up here and over here, they were already, so even in the Stalin rule, those were all valid, moves. So that's how Game 8 ended, which moved the global track up to 5 Allied victories and 3 Axis victories. So that's how the game actually ended. Talk to you guys later. Bye.